Well, here we go, part two. You know, I can see myself in this image here, and I reckon I'm getting one of those third eyes. I reckon I'm developing another eye, and it'll be able to see into all your souls. So watch out. Right then, where were we up to? Where were we up to? I know. PepsiCo. Bad luck, PepsiCo. You went up to your mates, preparing for a wedding, and yet something that you did not. And the next thing you know, you've got hubble bubble. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I hope it all went okay. And you know, a mouthful of ulcers, there's nothing to laugh at really. But the other thing, we've all been there. You know what I mean? We've all been there. I mean, think of me, root canal. Only yesterday, root canal. You know, I'm laughing now, but I wasn't yesterday when I was under that drill. You mark my words. That's why I didn't do this one day earlier. 200 quid for a root canal. 200, and I've got to have the thing capped. This is going to end up costing me a second-hand car's worth of cash. Anyway, mistaken diagnoses of heart failure from PepsiCo. Chest infection. Yeah. You know, you got an 80-odd-year-old with chest infection on him and a curious history. You know, it's bound to suggest, isn't it? It's bound to suggest that maybe his heart isn't dealing with the volume. You know, when it could just be that his lungs are a bit damp because they're full of pus. Yep. Did I mention the other one? No. Who was it? Was it Rena? Someone mentioned, I know, PepsiCo. Most unusual cause of heart failure that she's ever observed, postpartum cardiomyopathies. Whoa, you know, it's a terrible situation, the postpartum one, isn't it? Because in the mixture, you know, when people ought to be celebrating and relieved and, you know, feeling better now that the body's their own again, there's a snake in the grass there, this peripartum cardiomyopathy. It's a terrible, terrible thing. You know, most will resolve and get better and all the rest of it, and just leave the poor woman with a sense of dread next time she has a kid that something's going to crop up like this. But then, in a number of cases, it doesn't get better, does it? And you know, and things start to spin out of control. Terrible, terrible situation. Most unusual. And when asked, apart from daily weighing, you know, what do you do to make sure that the person self-manages? Well, for those of you who've got a sort of community focus, you know, there's spotting symptoms, there's spotting diet, there's weighing up, you know, getting to understand what food labels mean and all that sort of stuff. But for PepsiCo there, from the acute setting, what she's put is that one poor patient came in and he had a diagnosis of heart failure on him, so they gave him the responsibility of looking after his own fluid balance chart, which, you know, fair enough. If you're bored stiff on a coronary care unit or a cardiology ward, just the sensation that you're in control of anything. You know, I've always been struck being on the family side of the equation. I've always been struck at the extent to which, when you put a family member into hospital, they've just gone into the system, and the system's it's like one big iron wheel. You know, you're going to get what the system says when the system says it, and if you don't like it, just leave it there, but nothing else is going to happen, you know. I mean, I love hospitals, don't get me wrong. There's a part of that which gives me the greatest sense of security, by the way. But then I've been institutionalised, haven't I? You know, I know how these places work, and when it's worthwhile paying attention, and when it's worthwhile just closing your eyes and settling down for the ride. But if you're a 75-year-old person who's never never been in any sort of controlled environment since he left the army after the Second World War. That's going to be great. Nice one, PepsiCo. I was very appreciative of your comments. Not as appreciative as I was of the comments I received from Marie Notsu. Marie Notsu, or shall I put it better, Marie? Thank you very, very much for the kind remarks that you've made about the module so far. A number of you have said some very kind things to me, you know, kind of off the record. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate them because, you know, because to get an accolade from people like you lot, who know the business, is really a true accolade. I can't tell you how much it means to me. In fact, I'm speaking at an online educators conference this evening, and you're all going to get mentioned individually. So thank you so much for your comments. Good to hear that you're the lead clinician for the coronary care setup that you moved into. Took an interest in heart failure, because so often heart failure is the Cinderella service of the cardiology network, isn't it? Because, you know, you are by definition almost picking up the pieces. You know, it's making the best of a bad job often, and you know, although there are some glamour areas in it with your resynchronization therapies and all that sort of thing, by and large it's the elderly, and they've got a long history, and the diabetics as well, and they're having trouble, etc, etc, etc. And you know, it's great to hear of a clinician who really takes an interest. Loved to hear what you said, by the way, about the intensive care unit sister when you were 17. You know, there was a Department of Health advertisement not long ago, wasn't there? Well, yeah, many years ago now, as a matter of fact. And the slogan of the thing was that nurses make a difference, and they do. They just do. You know, you will hear in your families individual nurses being spoken of as towering examples of altruism and kindness, you know. And it's even better when you think that you lot deal with families in the middle of the worst crisis that they've ever been through, walk away, go on to the next person and do as good a job there too, and then go home and have your tea. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Oh, by the way, Marie Notsu, I love the checklist that you put up in your the local health board checklist. That struck me as a very reasonable course to take. And you know, listen, everybody, feel free to put all the answers that you make here up on the discussion board. You know, if you want, or if you're not certain about what specificity and sensitivity mean, stick your question up there and see if anyone else can come up with an answer. Why not? You know, I rather hope that you'll learn from each other. The only reason I want you to email these things so I can keep an eye on who's saying what and how much has been said. The prize for the week's most comprehensive reply has to go to Marie Notsu. So voluminous, I should say, Marie. And very comprehensive too, and I appreciate that as well, by the way. You know, I appreciate a good read, because it gives me something to get my teeth around when I'm making these short films. So, lovely to speak to you again. If I have anything further to say, I'll make another little film. Start thinking about your essays, ladies, because, you know, time's winged chariot and all that sort of stuff. And the latest I shall speak to you is next week. So, bye for now.